She served 2 terms on Charleston City Council, but her passion is law. I had a chance to talk with Anne Frances Bleecker for a special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. You know, a lot of Charlestonians haven't seen in a while. So tell me.
Yeah.
So tell me, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
I am doing great.
Yeah.
Really, really well. Thank you for coming.
Oh, yeah, anytime.
Yeah, I'm always glad to talk about anything.
And speaking of which, I want to revisit 2007 because that's when you actually, lost your term on City Council.
Yeah. I did. Yeah.
Tell me, when you heard the news, what was going through your mind?
Well, I was of course disappointed because I loved my work on City Council, and I had 8 wonderful years there with some really tremendous individuals, and of course working with the mayor's administration.
Right.
But also my good friends. I mean, all of the members of council were really extraordinary. And we had done some wonderful things.
Yeah.
I mean, we closed the bars at 2 o'clock. We stopped letting people smoke in restaurants. We, my work personally, because I represented Johns Island, was to redo the Johns Island plan, which was a commitment that I made over the course of several years to go to Johns Island almost every Wednesday and meet with individuals out there. And it was really rewarding, and I loved it. So I was, I was disappointed, but everything happens for a reason. And my children were younger, and my son was really thrilled, I have to tell you, that I wasn't spending so much time doing the city's business.
And
anyway.
he was to focus on him.
Yeah, but I still keep in touch. I'm still actively involved with certain projects. I've been a member of the International African American Museum Board since 2000, which keeps me tied to a lot of what's going on in the city, and I enjoy it.
And how's that going right now?
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It really is. We've had huge breakthroughs with the selection of the new site.
Right.
Obtaining that land right next to the Maritime Center is ideal.
Yeah.
It's ideal. It's where the museum should always have been. And then, of course, we have this wonderful new architect, IMK's partner. And we're staying in partnership with our other original architectural firm out of Ohio. But this is just a really neat new addition. I feel good about it. The fundraising is going well, and it's going to be a tremendous asset not only for Charleston but for the entire country.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Let's turn to politics because a lot of issues are happening right now on Charleston City Council, and I want you to say yes or no to the following.
Okay.
The midnight ordinance.
Yes.
Police body campers.
Police body campers. I'm not sure I'm following you.
Well, I believe now Representative Wendell Gilliard wants to have police officers.
Oh, the cameras.
Cameras,
yeah. Oh, wow. From a legal perspective, I wonder, but I'm not really familiar with how they would work.
Okay.
I hesitated in terms of due process issues when we began putting cameras on stoplights to catch people running.
Right.
But I think with all things, anything we can do to improve public safety, I was always a tremendous supporter of the fire department, the police department, and they do such a wonderful job and are so professional in Charleston that I'm sure whatever would happen. As to the midnight bar closing, because I'm not intimately involved in the discussions. My first reaction was, well, why would you do that? Or why would you have the incentive as a new restaurant north of that to open when you're going to have to close and your competitors are staying open? But I think, truthfully, there's a lot more discussion to be had. I know absolutely what all the Restaurant Association people are going to say. But it is a management issue. And our city has just grown so rapidly. And what the mayor says is true. And probably most people in this country respect him when he talks about how best to handle city growth.
Right.
That you must do it in a managed way. And so I would, I defer to his reasoning, and I hope there's a great compromise.
And let's walk back down memory lane because I'm wondering, where were you on the devastating day when the Soulful Superstore fire happened? Where were you, and what did you tell yourself?
Well, actually, I was I left my office at the time. I was on Church Street,
Oh, yeah.
and I was driving home to my home, which is right up in Parkwood.
Oh yeah.
And I saw fire trucks leaving the station, which is right here, about a block away.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I thought, oh, you know, my heart stops when I hear the sirens go. And I got to my house, and my son was there, and I think we were watching the Atlanta Braves baseball game when I got the phone call.
Right.
And I tried to go, and it just seemed impractical. I mean, to get there, that I would be doing more harm than good.
Yeah.
It, of course, was my district, and it was a devastating event. And the days that followed with the memorials, and it's still, I mean, I drive by that site, and I always remember all the events and the tragedies of that day. But we've learned from that with the city, and we have tremendous leadership in the fire department now. And like with everything else, I mean, you've got to be willing to change.
Sure.
And there's so many questions around that always, and so many heartaches if a different decision had been made. And,
Right.
But that's where I was, and that's what I was doing. I was here.
Yeah. And I know that a lot of people are not really happy with the site right now. Do you believe that the city has done enough to really honor those particular fire members?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I always took the position that if it were at all possible, that site should have been a fire station.
Okay.
And a fire station that would have been state of the art. And I say that only because it's on Savannah Highway. It's a busy site.
Right.
I understand completely the wishes of the families to have a place to go. And I do believe the city will always do whatever it can to preserve it. I was not an advocate of the park. Wouldn't be telling the truth if I said I was. But I'm certainly in no position to judge how those families feel, and if they want that and they need that place to go and remember.
So I know that right after the Silver Superstore fire, you actually had a personal situation of your own.
I did. It was I was first diagnosed. I retired from City Council in January of 2008, and the following Christmas was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a very curable form of cancer if caught early. And mine was caught very early, but that put me into chemo and radiation. And,
just like my mom.
Right, and I did great with it. And then in Thanksgiving of 2011, I had terrible pain. No warning whatsoever. And I ended up in surgery that night, and I had stage 3 ovarian cancer.
Wow.
No warning, and that's an important message that everybody needs to get out.
Sure.
That there are no tests for ovarian cancer right now, and the symptoms are could be fatigue, weight loss. I mean, just normal life stress situations. And so I urge any woman who feel know your body, and if you feel, talk to your doctor and talk about going, exploring that as an option or a potential cause of those symptoms. And I was treated and recovered. I had one little recurrence last year, but I'm doing great.
That is awesome.
I know. So I'm a triple cancer survivor.
There you go.
Yeah.
And as I mentioned to you off camera, my mom is a breast cancer survivor, and she dealt with that back 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember I actually told her, you need to pray to God. You need to pray, you need to read the Word of God, and God kept her here on earth.
Yeah. I'm
wondering, what was your secret to dealing with the ovarian cancer situation?
Well, I'm a positive, very busy, active person.
Yeah.
Certainly I'm a faithful. I'm a Catholic and faithful, and so prayer was essentially, but also really listening to my doctors and keeping the hope up. I've never stopped working throughout it. I've had amazing support system through my family, my friends, my colleagues here, who've never ever stopped cheering me on, and to become an activist about it.
Sure.
And of course, you know, I also have 2 children.
Right.
I'm not ready to leave
Leave,
them.
no.
So I am, it's work though. I mean, I'm cancer free now, and I'm as active as I possibly can in the community in support of ovarian cancer awareness. And
Sure.
I was telling you
Right.
that we have a fundraiser on September 17th at the Cinnabar.
Oh, yeah.
We're having a movie premiere about a rock band. NAD is the rock band of 6 surgeons who got together. They're from all over the country.
Right.
They got together at a conference and started playing music, and they formed a band really to entertain themselves. And now they're touring and recording, and there's a documentary about them and what wonderful things they've done. So we're excited about that opportunity. So if you're interested, you go to the Center for Women website,
Right.
and you can get your tickets through the Center for Women, and we'd love to see you there.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're excited about that.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
You were lucky with surviving ovarian cancer and Hodges, but your mother wasn't.
No, my mother died very young of breast cancer.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Tell me, how much do you miss her?
Oh my gosh,
It was
miss her like
20
crazy. 25 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, miss her like crazy all the time. She never got to see her grandchildren. But you know, time is a healer for sure. And I still have my father. He's
That's good.
82. And I have a wonderful stepmother,
Yeah.
Judy and John Bleecker, and so they're about as active as if they were in their 20s.
Yeah.
Frankly, they never stop going, and so that's been a tremendous blessing. So I don't have my mom. My mom died very young, and we love her and miss her, and yeah, she's there in spirit.
Spirit, there you go. I was going to say
she
that.
lives on through all of us.
Yeah.
So I have 2 sisters and my children.
And
Yeah.
along with God, she kept you here too.
Absolutely. She's not ready to bring me up there with her
No,
yet.
not
No.
at all.
Uh-uh.
And speaking active that is, you know, of course you have legal law firm here, and that was established back in 1997.
I know. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Wow. I know. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. I've loved every minute of it. God has blessed me through,
Yeah.
to be able to practice and to adore what I do. I mean, to want to come in every day is wonderful.
And it's your passion. You've been doing it before politics.
Oh yeah, I've
Yeah.
always done it.
Yeah.
I know.
And what I read too, you took on a job at Nelson Mullins right after law school.
Yeah, I was first employed at Nelson Mullins, first in Columbia and
Right.
in the Charleston office.
Yeah.
And I love that law firm. I love the people. It was a great experience for me.
Sure.
I elected that I didn't want to spend my career at a big law firm,
Oh, okay.
and that's a personal choice, and it's worked for me.
So far,
yeah. But I didn't burn. I didn't burn
Burning
any
bridges, I know you didn't.
I never would,
Right.
ever. I mean, they were wonderful and supportive, and have
Yeah.
been wonderful and supportive about my career, and I have lots of friends there still.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's good.
And let me back it up. You were with Quintin and Bleecker before. You had a joint partnership with Quintin and Bleecker.
Well, after I left Nelson Mullins, Rob Wendt,
Right.
who ran for county
Right.
council,
Yeah.
who is an expert in Social Security and disability law.
I see
He's
commercials all the time.
Yeah, wonderful guy, wonderful guy. He and I formed a partnership for 2 years, and I did both family court work and Social Security disability work. And as my family court practice grew, I felt it best just to solely focus on that and open my own office.
And you know, from what I heard, you're one of the best mediators around town.
Oh, well, thank you. I love
Besides-
to mediate.
Yeah.
I do. I love to mediate.
You and Paul Tinko.
Oh.
You remember him?
My dear friend.
Yeah, he's a
And
good man.
well, thank you for saying that. I try.
Yeah.
It's rewarding to be able to mediate a case and help people. Yeah, help people.
And you got most of that experience from your law school experience at USC.
Yeah, oh, what a great school. We're very excited we are about to break ground on September 26th in Columbia. We will break ground on the brand new law school building that is going to be state-of-the-art, high-tech. It's going to be so great for the state of South Carolina and for all the future lawyers and for the old lawyers too. To have it as a resource.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we're very excited about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll go into Columbia that day.
Well, that'd be good.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
I think so.
And I read too that you actually got a master's from the University of Texas.
I did.
Yeah.
I have a master's from the LBJ School of Hook'em
Yay.
Horns. I do.
Yeah.
I did that.
Longhorns.
I know. Talk about, I really have had a charmed life. I am I was very fortunate to be offered a fellowship there.
Oh, yeah.
And that was pretty tempting as a young girl in her 20s,
20s, yeah.
to go to Austin and
That's
live
right.
there for 2 years, and I loved it. We had a reunion of our class, a 35-year reunion. Was it 35 or 30? 83.
Oh, I'm going to be 30 in
30.
October, yeah.
30,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Keep going.
Anyway, it's great school. I was lucky, and it was a very new school at the time, so it was good. But Austin's a fun town if you can find your way to Austin.
I heard they had some great barbecue and live music.
Live music. Back in the day when I was there, used to go to the Stallion restaurant, and it was a diner-style restaurant with booths, and it wasn't infrequent to see Willie Nelson sitting in a booth right down the way. It was a small town.
Yeah.
It's a big, high-tech city now.
Yes, it is. I mean, they have South by Southwest and all that.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's awesome. It's a great place.
And speaking of good schools, you went to Smith College for your bachelor's.
I did. And I still go to Smith every 5 years for my reunions, and I had a friend in town last week who's a judge in St. Louis who was in my class.
Yeah.
I did. I was also very fortunate. I knew about Smith. Ashley Hall, where I went to high school, was founded by a woman Mary Audrine McBee, who went to Smith College.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I had two wonderful teachers at Ashley Hall who were Smith graduates. Molly Ravenel, who is now Molly Fair, I knew very well, and she was a Smith graduate. Connie Ackerman. I'd say I had lots of Smith graduates in Charleston whom I could talk to.
Sure.
And I went up and looked at it and was sold on it. And if you're going to get a great education and somebody's going to send you to Smith, go to Smith.
Go to Smith,
yeah. I think so. Yeah.
Well, finish these sentences for me. Teaching legal writing taught you.
Teaching legal writing taught me to be a better writer, to try and think ahead of students.
Oh yeah.
To be willing to understand people who didn't quite write as well as I thought they should, and to help them figure out how to focus, and to the value of legal writing. I mean, as lawyers, that's what we do: is we talk and we write. We talk and we write. Yeah. So conveying your ideas effectively on paper has always been something that I was taught as a young girl, and that's part of what I love about my profession, is being able to write and to communicate and argue what I believe the correct point is.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So.
Growing up in Charleston was?
Growing up in Charleston was idyllic. Was a small town. Everybody knew each other.
Yeah.
And I was blessed. I had my grandparents. My grandfather, and my Charleston grandfather, lived until I was 18.
Wow.
So I had the benefit of a wonderful extended Charleston family, close friends, many of whom are here still. So it's great. We just get together and take care of one another. The beach.
Oh yes.
The water, fishing.
Yeah. Things that give you peace.
Peace. But I mean, I wouldn't trade the way Charleston under the Riley administration. I mean, I was a senior in high school when the mayor was first elected.
Right.
So to see where the city is now is something that we could not have imagined or envisioned as children. Because he saved downtown. I mean, he saved the city.
He did.
And turned what we always knew was the most beautiful city in the world into an international gem, and drove up the economy, so we all benefit from that. Absolutely.
Tourism, etc.
Oh, absolutely. In my day, when we went away to college, most of us didn't. I didn't come back for 10 years.
Wow.
We weren't going to come back here. There wasn't anything for us to come back to.
Yeah.
But now,
look what we have.
We're so blessed.
Yes, indeed.
To have the opportunities, the parks, the recreation, the arts.
Oh, yes.
Spoleto. Piccolo, Moja. I mean, just all of it. And I love now, reading, what's happening this week in the newspaper and Charleston Magazine and just all the great city paper, all the greats, just skirt all of them. You can pick them up and you can see so much going on in the food section on Wednesdays with all the new restaurants and the magnificent intros, and it's so fabulous.
Talk about up King Street. I mean, they're building a lot of new restaurants up there.
It's just, I can't get over it.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, really, truly wonderful. A celebration.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
A
indeed.
celebration, yeah.
Describe to me the following in one word. Mayor Joe Riley.
Extraordinary.
Anne Frances Bleecker.
Fun.
Your 2 children.
Amazing.
Yeah. Your future.
Perfect.
Are you going to run for mayor of Charleston?
You are so sweet. I don't think I will. No, I'm going to support the next mayor. I think that being the mayor who immediately follows Joe Riley will be a challenge because the bar is set so high. My hope is that we will have a new mayor who will keep a lot of the city staff on board. Because what I learned when I was on the city council, that one of the mayor's greatest strengths, he has many, but one of his greatest strengths are his people skills and his ability to hire tremendous leaders in all the departments, and all of them have the gifts of being able to build a network of employees who really are phenomenal. I can't say enough, from Laura Cabinets at Public Works.
Vanessa Turner Maybank.
Vanessa, and all the gals over in the clerk's office. And what they do, and they do it with passion and a smile. And it's not easy to run a city. I was the whole time I was on the city council, I was the chair of the Human Resources Department. So from that perspective, chair of the Human Resources Committee of the City Council.
Sure, no worries.
And it's the committee that reviews and makes recommendation on the city health plan and major city services and city policies, employee policies.
Of course.
So I was able to become familiar with the city structure and the number of employees and the special needs that you have to attend to the public safety officers. And as I really saw that, which is why
you should run for mayor.
Well, we'll see.
Well, Anne Frances Bleecker, this was so great.
I know. So much fun, Quintin. Thank you for everything, really.
Anytime.
Great.
Thank
Good
you.
luck to you.
You too.